Wake up call.
Big Ten has one game this year
Ohio State, Michigan?
at the Rose Bowl
Oh, that's not bad.
on January 1st.
That's not bad. Can you imagine if Harbaugh
Nothing golf is doing right now seems normal or strange. I think all of it is strange.
one moment? This is what we do.
Women's Open
You
is on right
can't beat Ohio State when you have had nothing else on your calendar.
He wouldn't even get the Lane Kiffin treatment.
No, he wouldn't either.
There's no tarmac in his future. It would just
because
be right there in the tunnel.
getting fired on the tarmac indicates that you thought you were going to get on the plane. They wouldn't even allow him the thought of getting on the plane.
Crazy.
Don't pack your bags. You might as well stay here for a few days.
Yeah, you're used to California, right? Yeah, stay in California.
You're like,
don't know
didn't you
about
coach
this,
down at San Diego State at one point? Go
local
visit them for a few
commercial
days
that we
because
had
you
here.
ain't coming back to Ann
It was
Arbor with
borderline
us.
Wake up call with Tony V and Ron Culver. Weekday
guy,
mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
The
I
Jake
forget- I have to
Asman
find
Show.
it. I'll send it to you.
Many times in my life, I've had to share a hotel room with somebody else. My plan
maybe
of selecting
Zapala,
which bed
Kia,
depends
something
on
like that.
proximity to the air conditioning vent and
He would come out and
proximity
be
to
like,
the motel.
we're selling
I
Kias
have a lot
for
of things that need to be charged. I
you
need
know,
to plug in my fan.
10,000 off
I
what
need
you're
to charge
normally
my
paying,
phone.
and-
I have an Apple Watch.
and he would
I
have
have a
this guy come
Mophie
in,
phone
and of course,
charger
you know,
case.
it's like
I need outlets galore.
stereotypical
And a lot
as
of
it
it
gets.
depends
Like,
on
just
where
the
the bed
guy
is located in the
His
hotel.
eyes
The
are
Jake
wide
Asman
open,
Show.
and he'd yell,
Weekday mornings from 9 to 11 Eastern.
after
Jake
every
Asman here, one of the big changes we're all dealing with is wearing a mask, but
It
not
never
all
ever
offer
got
the same
removed
comfort and
or anything.
protection. I recommend the Boomer
Philly
Naturals
is crazy.
3-layer comfortable, breathable mask enhanced with nano silver technology. Nano silver can block those tiny drops
There
of
was a
particles from getting to your nose and mouth. They
cheesesteak
also offer
place,
those
right?
popular nano silver neck
The
gaiters.
name
Available in
actually
sizes
dates
for adults
back,
and
like
children.
it's a
in
family
stock now
name.
and shipped to you fast. Order
And the
now
last
at
name was
boomernaturals.com. Use promo code
And it
Jake.
was like,
Save
dude, you can't
20%. That's
have
code
that.
Jake at
But it was like a
boomernaturals.com.
legit place that was everywhere. And it
One
was
of the
like
big changes we're all
they were
dealing
fighting
with is
because
wearing
it
a
was this
mask, but
family
not
name,
all offer
and
the
everybody
same
was like,
comfort and
dude, you can't.
protection.
And
I
it was
recommend the
like
Boomer
imagine
Naturals
seeing that,
3-layer
right?
comfortable, breathable mask enhanced with nano silver technology.
Everywhere.
Nano silver
Everywhere.
can block those tiny drops and particles from
And we
getting
were
to
all
your
like-
nose and mouth. They
Whenever
also
it
offer
came
those
up, we were like,
popular
no, you
nano
can't.
silver
You
neck
have to
gaiters
refer to it as
available
something
in
else,
sizes
like
for adults and
just
children. They're in
cheesesteaks come
stock
up all
now
the
and
time.
shipped to you fast. Order now at boomernaturals.com.
And, you know, you
Use
had
promo
the
code Scott
holdouts,
and save
like, wow, that's the
20%.
name of
That's
that
code
place.
Scott
It's
at
like, dude.
boomernaturals.com.
This is a Gal Media property in partnership
that,
with
though?
Jacob Media.
Set your system's volume control for a slightly
You got to send it.
normal listening
No,
level.
I'm saying the cheesesteak place.
Second level
That's
thinking is
50 times
defined
worse
as
than the
looking
commercial.
beyond the
That's true, yeah.
illusions.
You got to do some smart thinking.
Welcome to the second level on the Sports Map Radio Network, a show where we go beyond the box score.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
A couple of things. First and foremost, why am I not able to watch the PGA event going on right now, the Northern Trust going on right now, and instead, and it's not a knock, but it's clearly not carrying the same weight, the Women's Open is on instead. Ricky Fowler is 4 under. This is breaking news, folks. We actually have a guy who was written off more so than anybody on tour, actually somewhat in contention. That's the story of the day in golf. Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, Harris English, stop the presses. Ricky Fowler is 4 under. What the heck happened with him? We also have last night a placating of the crowd who still believed going into that game that the Portland Trailblazers were in fact going to win this series. You guys have been listening to Charles Barkley too much because somebody thought that this thing was over after one game. And I still maintain that while you have two different scenarios, two different means to the same end of the first round, which is LA and Milwaukee advancing, you still have a major threat in the East to Milwaukee, maybe 2 times over, which I don't necessarily think you have, despite the Clippers still being the Clippers, I don't think you have with LA. Last night was a statement made by LeBron James, and I don't even know if you caught it because of how poor of a game that he actually had. Everybody, and rightfully so, focused first on Anthony Davis. And also, before we hit this quick break and come back and stretch our arms for the opening of the show, I know for a fact there is one person in the building who pays attention to what I say. And I know for a fact that it's not always Ron Culver. Jake Asman, if he's out there, all right, Jake knows about hashtag Fade the Phils. It worked not once, but twice yesterday. You think I'm just on here yelling and spewing about my bad teams for your entertainment? I'm actually trying to make you some money here. There is a proven theory that has been tested that works every single time. As soon as that team gets up, you fade them. Hashtag Fade the Phillies at Shandy Jones.
It's Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. Take an extra 20% off. Save on Vans shoes for the family, $59.99 and under. Women's Sonoma tees are just $6.39. And get up to 50% off Croft and Barrel bed sheets. Plus, save on your back-to-school purchase. Plus, fast and free store pickup. And get a little more for your wallet with Kohl's Cash. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offers valid August 20th through August 23rd. 20% off with promo code Family Shop. 10 off 50 with promo code BTS10. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hiring is challenging. Just ask Dylan Miskowitz, the COO of Cafe Altura.
We needed a director of coffee in order to move our products forward. It felt like we were looking for a needle in a haystack.
Dylan started using ZipRecruiter and found his perfect candidate in a few days.
We were very impressed with how quickly we had quality candidates apply through ZipRecruiter.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal. We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who will get the IRS on your back.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful.
Gotta be a little more specific than that.
I know.
Now, time is running out. Call 800-296-9744. 800-296-9744.
Do you mind just sending a tweet out and tagging Jacob Media? You don't have to put that thing in there. If you have that thing, that would be great.
Auto Accident Help Desk is a marketing agency connecting callers with attorneys. Providers pay a fee for advertising services.
I love getting my kids ready and driving them to school.
But a careless driver can change your life in an instant, and insurance companies want to settle on the cheap. Auto Accident Help Desk connects victims with powerful lawyers. They fight for you.
I called Auto Accident Help Desk and got help for my pain and suffering.
Don't let an insurance company take advantage of you. Our attorneys fight and beat big insurance every day.
Call 800-528-6859. 800-528-6859.
If you've been injured in an automobile accident in the last 6 months, you owe it to yourself to make this free call with no obligation. We're available 24/7 to help you get the money you deserve for your pain and suffering. Auto Accident Help Desk helps accident victims like you every day.
Call 800-528-6859. 800-528-6859. That's 800-528-6859.
Scratching beneath the surface. It's the second level on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
So I guess we're going to have to be forced to illegally stream the golf now. This is what they do to us. Do you think that prohibition works? Do you think that people were just not drinking anymore when they outlawed it? I don't know what the hell the PGA is doing, but this is a major ball drop right now. They're going to wait, I'm sure, until the afternoon to start playing with people in contention. But there 125 names. A lot of them are big names, and it doesn't make sense unless they're trying to build this thing around Tiger Woods. Now, Woods 3 under is definitely hovering, but still you have a ton of momentum where you can capture it alongside, especially ahead of the NBA and NHL that'll drop the puck later today. I don't know why these ESPN Plus, NBC Plus, whatever plus you have, I don't know if it's the Peacock, which seems to be like a major ripoff, mind you. I don't know if you've seen that. It's like that old game that you would download on the marketplace on your phone that would say free, but then you would see that little plus on the top right of the icon. And then as soon as you get in there, they just kill you with these add-ons. Like you can't do anything unless you hit these add-ons. And then next thing you know, it's a $5 purchase. It's a $10 purchase. You're $60 into this thing just to get by a certain level or advance something through time, whatever it may be. And I feel like this is pretty much an insult to all of the people like myself, and I'm sure a bunch of people out there who spent a lot of time invested in watching this sport leading up to this big event. Now, I mentioned the hashtag Fade the Phillies, as the Phillies lost a doubleheader 2 straight to the Blue Jays last night in ridiculous fashion. Now, this is not going to turn into some Sixers rant. I'm out of energy when it comes to ranting about the teams here locally. In fact, I think that there is a ton of value on the board every single time the Philadelphia Phillies pitch. And it's crazy because you're not going to have a long 162-game season. What you're going to have is probably 57 to 59 games total because they missed a couple and they're trying to make them up. But that short sample size is going to be enough for you to win some money. And I maintain that if we go and continue this process, and I've been doing it, I did it twice yesterday, even through the tweet out at Shander Show, fade the Phillies working in game 1, took them plus 6.5, or pardon me, yes, the other squad, Jays, plus 6.5, and then plus 5 as they were down 7-2. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. And look, sometimes it's just me getting on here and ranting and raving and breaking a sweat like I did the other day with the 76ers. But in this case, there was actually some savvy analysis behind this, as well as being here. And it's not just physically being here, but it's being in the moment of this team being local to me. And I can tell you that there are tons of people that have already got on board, some even before me on this thing, but it's a reality. It's an inevitable reality right now that, and this is how you play it. Right? You don't even need to watch these games. I'm doing the heavy work, the heavy lifting for you. Okay? You don't even need to watch these things on a game cast or on your game tracker on whatever app you use. I know Asman was all over this a week or so ago, so hopefully he was paying attention. Hopefully he and others out there were continuing this methodology of sports betting, because it is unlike anything I've ever seen, which is going to hit it like a 70-75% clip. It's kind of like the XFL, only the XFL with the books, they just didn't know any better. There was no data, nothing to really indicate how things would change, or even the lines, in-game lines, changing as rapidly and as drastically as they did. In this case, it's a very simple solution. If you are down, maybe you're betting a lot in the NBA and you're getting your tail kicked like I've been. Maybe it's just trying to ride these puck lines, which have been difficult as well. Money line plays are always better for me, at least in the NHL. But whatever it is, a little slump there. You know, golf is a crapshoot. So if you got lucky one week, then chances are you were trying to ride that luck 2-3 weeks in a row and it didn't work. Unless, of course, you hit Xander in the top 20. That's paid off 5 straight times. But for the most part, if you're hovering around, 35 to 55%, why not jack it up? Why not just improve it a little bit? Up your average, up your percentage. Because you know, and I'm telling you this, I know, and therefore now you know. This is a great little tidbit. This is like some water cooler thing. Whenever you return to an office or any type of setting where you're next to people, look, it could be outdoors. I know that there are plenty of places here in Pennsylvania where it's set to, at least in the Philly area, set to reopen with a small capacity, of course, indoor dining. That's already the case, I know, in Houston, talking with Ron and Jake and others down there. So it's not out of the ordinary that you might be in a situation where you can wow the crowd with a nice little tidbit. And that's what I'm giving you here, just a nice little tidbit of information. So if somebody's asking you, hey, you got the score in that Yankees-Angels game? Well, I got a bet on it. You can now seem much more intelligent than you are, which is what we try to do every day. Seem, not be. Keyword seem. And drop a little nugget. You're wasting your time betting anybody else outside of one team. And that's fading one team. I've never seen this before. Never in my life have I seen this before, where combined with what's happening on the field and where we are with a clip of like 65, 70. I think it's actually above 70 right now. I actually think it's somewhere around 75% that it's hit, where every single time the Philadelphia Phillies have a lead, they blow it. Now, that doesn't mean that they always lose the game, but it means that up 4, up 5 is pretty much a lock. I would set the baseline right now at 3.5 and feel really comfortable with that. In fact, I could even stretch it and say 3. 3 a push, that's fine. At least it's voided and you're able to come back for another day, battle another day. But I honestly, for me, whenever the Philadelphia Phillies, this is what you keep an eye on. And look, again, you just get on whatever app it is, legal, global, wherever you bet, however you bet, and you don't even need to follow along. Just follow me on Twitter, @Shandor Show. That's the easiest thing to do, because every single time that team is playing, I will be alerting the masses when it's time to jump in. Plus 6.5, I got it. They were up 7-2 on the Jays early last night, and I'm looking around like, is anybody else going to jump on this? Plus 6.5? Are you kidding me? 6.5. Stop that number. Stop it. Technically it was 7. Stop it. And I did. And then it was at 5, where it was at 7-2. Thinking, okay, worst case scenario, Jays don't score anymore. Phillies don't have enough. They're like a musket. They fire once and they need a long time to recharge. So I knew that offense wasn't going to have another inning of explosion, if you will. And it was just clockwork. It was just sitting there, setting the watch, and just waiting for it to hit. Like 15 minutes to go in your final class of the day in college or high school, wherever, whatever school, and you're just sitting there like, come on, come on, come on. And every day is a Friday. Every day. I don't even know when school gets out anymore. It's 3 o'clock, 2:40, something like that. It's 2:20. The bell's going to ring at 2:40, and it's a Friday, and you don't have school on Monday. That's what it's like every single time the Philadelphia Phillies are up, and now it's time to fade that team. Whoever, I don't care if they're playing Boston, as you saw, the Blue Jays in Buffalo. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It is a principle that I now stand by, and it has made me money, and I'm trying to just relay that to you out there as well. I'm sure Peralta has an eye or two on that, is knowing how he is with trends and things working across the board with sports. So you can look at it from two ways. You can look at it from just a simple baseball fashion, which is, wow, this Phillies team is so gross and so bad with their bullpen. Anybody not named really Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler is at risk from starter through bullpen of giving up a bad inning or two, mind you, until he gets yanked. Why not? Why not look up and see what a line is? And then the other element of it would be trends. Would just be looking at the trends and knowing that the Philadelphia Phillies have struggled so much with their bullpen. There are worse teams out there. Mets, Sox, I thought. There are definitely worse teams out there, but nobody has as bad of a bullpen. And that's the key element here. 6-7 innings of Aaron Nola or Zach Wheeler baseball, it's not enough. No lead is safe. That's the other hashtag. Fade the Phillies, hashtag no lead is safe. It's crazy. It's like an NBA game where you're up by 30 in the second quarter and you're so tempted to lay lay the 25 points because your team's already up crushing it, but you know that run is coming. Even in the bubble, we've seen it because it doesn't have a home court advantage, a true home court advantage. So that's been a big issue here in the NBA restart, is our runs and seeing how a team can come back. Last night, at one point, Magic down big, and they were getting 17 points. And it was just way too early in the game. Still third quarter, mind you, but just way too early. The bubble has evened out, I think, a lot of these blowouts. Now, again, where the game closes and where the game finishes is different than catching a live number. The NBA actually has allowed us to make up for a lot of bad bets ahead of time by hedging live. And at least live, if you've been paying attention, you actually get a little in there. You do. You get a nice little in every now and again where a team is down 15, 17, 18 points, third quarter, 6 minutes to go, and you're getting 20 because that team has just been pounded for 2.5 quarters. And all of a sudden, what happens, starters come out, bench players are shooting and pushing the ball. Nobody's slowing it up with 10 minutes left to go in the fourth. This is your opportunity to be on television and maybe get a job on another team at the end of this season, or maybe get more money if your contract's up by this team, whatever it may be, there's an opportunity, or maybe more minutes the next game if you play really well in your 12 minutes of blowout fashion that you got. It's been frustrating, I think, from the start, looking at where numbers close, games close, but ultimately, if you're able to make up for it in game, there's definitely opportunity there. Big one I love today, the only game that I truly love today, well, there are two games that I love today. One is the obvious, the inevitable, which is, and it's high, it's too high to take, but the Celtics on the money line. Boston is not losing this game. In fact, you might as well just lay the 5.5. You really might as well just lay it. Boston is so motivated. There is nothing that would indicate that Celtics are going to let up and lazily sleepwalk through this game. They have put it on Philadelphia for 2 straight games. They just weathered a Joel Embiid tropical storm / hurricane. It didn't even matter. It didn't even have an impact on it. They didn't even need to lay out sandbags on the shore for this one. Oh, here comes Hurricane Embiid. It's a what's the highest? Is it 1 or 5? Ron, do you know what the highest category is? I always get these two mixed up. You know, it's like the bear and bull. I always get them mixed up as far as the category for the hurricane. And my computer's restarting right now, so I can't even cheat and look it up as I speak. Do you have any idea what it may be as far as which is the best? For some reason, I think category 5 is the worst, right? Maybe not. We'll have to look at that. At Shander Show on Twitter. Twitch.tv/Shander Show. Now, you guys said something. You guys had something this morning that Embiid crying by 9:30 p.m. That's Jay Naples on Twitter. At Jay Naples. Again, at Shander Show. Twitch.tv/Shander Show. All right, the over-under for when Embiid is crying again has been set by Jay Naples at 9:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. Do you take the over or under? I think you're spot on. I think, you know, that I might stay away from that only because I think that's a dead-on push right there. 9:30 p.m. on the clock. Now, am I able to disagree with something that was brought up in the good, the bad, and the dumb? Do I have that? Like, I don't want this to be, you know, I don't want to be brought back on the wake-up call, the wake-up show now, and be chastised by Tony D. So I'm okay doing this. Is this all right in your book, Ron?
He's talking to Craig right now.
Oh, okay. Well, Ron's talking to the boss, so that's way more important. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. Matt's in the house, right?
Yep.
Okay, nice. So now I know I'm in good hands. It's not like Ron just left the board alone to go talk to the boss and then coming back and be like, look, man, I have to talk to the boss. What do you want? But I heard something this morning, and I know it only because I was reading it. Chuck D actually retweeted the CNN column into my timeline, I don't know, last night or 2 days, maybe it was earlier in the day. And it had to do with the mosquito story that Tony D and Culver were talking about this morning at Shander Show. Again, the NBA had one thing last night, a major statement by LeBron that you probably missed, and the game that I truly love, we'll get to at 11:40 a.m. Eastern. It's the Second Level on Sports Map Radio.
The Second Level.
You know,
yeah, Craig came in to talk to him, so he should be back probably at the beginning of the next segment.
Do you think if this were happening back in, I don't know, 84, 85, would you opt out or would you play?
There are certain
I'll let you know when he's back if you want to throw to him.
your responsibilities, and there are certain things that you have to be able to understand. And when you think about those responsibilities, you're hoping that everybody abides by those responsibilities. The 49ers, and the reason I can only speak about that is that given the characteristics of the group and given the characteristics of the people and understanding the consequences, that's what allowed that team at that time to be able to function and do things that maybe other teams couldn't do.
The Second Level with Eitan Shander, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
If business, pleasure, or sports fandom takes you to Houston, Dallas, Austin, Fort Worth, or San Antonio, check out CultureMap.com to get the scoop on the local favorites. From the best restaurants, bars, pubs, and clubs to the biggest sights and sounds each city has to offer, Culture Map has it all. Just head over to CultureMap.com. The expert team personally reviews and visits each spot to make sure you get the best experience. And if you're coming back, sign up for free Culture Map updates at CultureMap.com.
Into the Night.
Back here into the night, Mark Schlereth continues to talk with us. Hey, Mark, what's your take on the Dak Prescott situation? Obviously, going to play this year under the franchise tag.
The thing that drove me crazy about the whole Dak Prescott situation was, the Dallas Cowboys, they kept releasing the contract terms. One thing I know about players and agents, they don't release a contract term unless they're going to sign it. They don't say, hey, look, we got this money, but we're not going to sign it because it's not enough money. And the thing that drives me.
Sorry about that, man. I had the boss man in here.
Oh, no, Matt.
Claims salary cap.
Everything all right?
The salary.
Yeah, this is your last show?
Well, they wouldn't tell me until I'm done. So.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Spoil the news.
Come on,
oh, well.
That's like the number one rule.
Kansas City.
You never tell anybody they're done
That's
until
right.
after.
On a Friday. Hey, can you come meet me in my office at like you're usually done wrapping up things up like around 1 o'clock, right? Yeah, no problem.
Coast to coast. If you throw a heinous first pitch, you go down in the heinous first pitch handbook forever. So Fauci will stay in baseball now forever because of that terrible pitch. I've thrown out 2 first pitches, and both times I threw heat dead over the plate. Rock star status. Strikes both times. Shake out. Ooh.
Pharrell Coast to Coast with Scott Pharrell. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, look at that. Wawa in Naples now. You guys don't have Wawa, right?
You're listening to The Second Level on the
Sure don't.
Presented by
I have a Wawa bar. Is that
no,
not the same thing.
The O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios with way more than the scores. Here's Eitan Shander.
Well, 2 quick things. In the break, and this is why you should always be paying attention on the stream, twitch.tv/Shander Show. Jay Naples responded to my showing of what I was eating in the break with this little Wawa box. Now, we have Wawa here in the north, kind of like PA, and it goes down Maryland, and it's in Florida. It's taken over Florida. So Jay Naples is actually Jay in Naples because he responded, Wawa in Naples now. Life is good. You just wait, Culver, until Wawa hits Houston, until Wawa hits the state of Texas, and that's all you'll be going for any type of quick meal. It is cut out.
I don't know if we will. I mean, here's the deal, right? If there was going to be an infiltration of a store, it has to be a trade deal. So what I'm saying is that Texas may trade for a Wawa, but then we've got to send a Buc-ee's.
What's a Buc-ee's? Like
Exactly.
a Stuckey's? I know what a Stuckey's
No.
is.
I didn't mispronounce. I said Buc-ee's.
You know what a Stuckey's is, right?
No.
Stuckey's is like a truck stop where.
Well, all right. In a way, Buc-ee's is kind of similar. It's a gigantic gas station. It's a tourist destination. Inside every store that you go into is literally a about the size of a Walmart.
Okay, so it's like a convenience store on steroids.
Yes,
and
you can buy clothes there.
Oh,
you can buy
Who's buying
Texas
clothes when
gear.
you're- what? Come
Oh,
on.
you do all the time.
I'm sure,
You should
though,
see
it's
it.
like-
This place. I have not been in one where I'm the only person in there. This place is packed wall to wall people.
You might not be the only person in there, but you're probably
Google it.
You're probably the only person buying clothes there.
Hey, put it on your Googleator. Type in Buc-ee's, Buccees, world famous Buc-ee's beaver.
I don't even want to know what that is.
Yeah, the beaver knows.
Here's the thing. Do you have MTO sandwiches? Like, do you have?
I have MT sandwiches.
No.
Is that the same thing?
No.
There's nothing in there. It's just a piece of bread.
No, not MT. MTO, made to order. See, you don't have the touch screen where you can go in there.
That's Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's, you can go. You play on a touch screen there.
Really?
Special. Oh yeah, and you can get fresh beef jerky. You can get seasoned
48
pecans.
locations. I only see 48 Buc-ee's. There are probably 48 Wawas in the Delaware Valley. Wawa dominates Buc-ee's.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. If there's going to be a fair trade, you got to trade a Wawa's for a Buc-ee's.
Do you know Arch Beaver Alpin III, co-owner of Buc-ee's?
We're not on common relations, but I have heard of him.
Well, his nickname is clearly Beaver, which is where it all comes from. Lake
Correct.
Jackson, Texas. Oh man, we would stomp you guys. And when it
Oh,
comes,
I'm not saying you wouldn't stomp us, but I'm just saying Texas will fight you over Buc-ee's.
you'll fight us over everything. Like
True.
you'll fight us over stuff that
True.
you're in the right on. It doesn't matter. That's
Very
Texas.
true, but Texas will fight you over Buc-ee's.
All right, now we're gonna have to have an online battle here. I might have to put it up on Twitter in the break.
Oh, it's going to be skewed because if you
'Cause I
put
have
it
all
up,
these Philly people.
Yeah, if you have all these Philly people, are going to be like, "What's a Buc-ee's?"
Absolutely right. Absolutely. I know
Look
what
it up.
I know what I have the mob on my side.
Have you ever been to a gas station where there's 100 pumps?
Yeah, Wawa.
No, Wawa doesn't count. Wow, you just said Wawa's a grocery store.
No, but that's the thing is the super Wawas have like 7 or 8 banks of gas where you can get your gas. Here's the beauty of Wawa, that every Wawa has one of those free air pumps for your tires. So let's say you're lazy and you've got a flat or a leak.
Every gas station has air
No,
pumps.
you have to pay. You always have to pay. It's like the coin op.
Well, no,
air
that's
pumps.
only if you go to like the normal gas stations. Buc-ee's, you can get free air there.
Oh,
you can get a car wash
just
at
making sure you
Buc-ee's.
can get one at Wawa too.
Does Wawa's fit a big rig truck?
Yes, of course.
No, it doesn't.
What do you mean? You think Texas is the only place that has truckers? 95.
Can we agree
We've
on
got
one
two
thing?
major highways here: the P8 Turnpike and 95, the Northeast Corridor.
Can we agree on one thing though?
Sure.
That Wawa's is cool. I haven't been to a Wawa's. I want to check it out. Buc-ee's is pretty cool. They both trump Pilot and Love's.
Yes, absolutely.
Love's, but TNA is the best truck stop name on the planet.
Well, yeah, technically Wawa's not a truck stop.
Well, see, Buc-ee's, I think technically is.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
I don't know. It's a tourist destination in itself.
Well, we'll have to dive deeper into this.
Yeah,
Now,
but
I heard
you've
something
heard
this morning.
of TNA, right?
Yeah, we actually. I
Good.
think those are national.
Yeah, Truck Stops of America, best name hands down for a truck stop.
I wouldn't eat there, but hey,
No.
to each their own.
Well, depends.
Unless I'm a
It
trucker
depends
and
on
I'm
what's
on
the
you know,
menu.
deadline, maybe
Yeah,
right?
what's on the menu?
I
You don't know.
don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know because I've
We
never.
can't go
eaten it.
down that road because this is terrestrial radio.
That's true. That's true. I can't tell you everything specifically on there. Now, I heard you guys. I was listening this morning, and I had a little issue with the bad, the good, the bad, and the dumb.
Okay, hit me.
Well, here's the thing. Chuck D tweeted this story into my timeline yesterday, and I was reading it from start to end. And I get on the surface whenever you hear how a state, in this case Florida, is going to unleash hundreds of thousands of GMO genetically modified
750 million.
Yes, 750
mosquitoes.
million, right? To destroy current populations of mosquitoes that are
Right.
Now these mosquitoes that are already in existence are carrying multiple diseases.
Oh, no,
that have plagued.
Hey,
and
I'm
the
not.
spray isn't working.
I'm
Culver.
not saying. I don't know. I'm not saying that the science behind it or the thought process behind it isn't good. What I am saying, and I'm stealing the line from Jeff Goldblum, life finds a way. I
You think this
swear
is
to
the
God,
start right now?
These male mosquitoes are going to flip the switch, and all of a sudden you've released 750 million female mosquitoes. And they're
Planet
gonna
of the
start spreading
mosquitoes.
this. Yes.
Is it taking over now? We went from apes to mosquitoes.
Yes.
Look, it's better than that spray, that DDT spray in your lungs,
No,
right?
that doesn't work. No, that doesn't work.
Pete, not Rodney Pete, right? All right, coming up, NBA stuff.
America's entrepreneurs during Small Business
One of
Month.
these days
with all
I'll
you
get it.
need to office anywhere. Save up to 45% on computers and servers with Intel Core processors. Upgrade to new modern devices with Windows 10. Plus, save on top brand tech while enjoying free shipping on everything. And special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call 877-ASK-DELL to talk to a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the tech that's just right. That's 877-ASK-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusinessdeals.
At CDW, we get that migrating your business to a hyper-converged infrastructure is challenging.
Like me switching to decaf. Gotta do it, don't want to do it, but gotta do it.
Whoa, slow down, friend. CDW's experts can help you simplify the transition from legacy to hyper-converged infrastructure with Dell Technologies solutions that offer speed and agility.
Do it. Have you done it? Is it done yet? Why isn't it done yet?
IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Dell Tech.
Indeed knows that for any business, your next step is the most important one, like hiring someone who can make a real impact. Indeed can help you find high-impact hires faster
speaking of
without
sandwiches,
any
have you heard
long-term
of the Bat
contracts,
sandwich?
and you pay only for what you need. Thanks to our super...
No.
No?
Why not take that next
fat like PH?
No, like FAT.
with a free
No.
first job post and get in front of more quality candidates? Go to Indeed.com/high impact. That's Indeed.com/high impact. Terms and conditions apply.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug.
Breathe out and repeat after me. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Your bird is eating my candles.
Your bird is eating my candles.
No, seriously, he's making a mess.
No, seriously.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
School goes on.
And Staples has everything you need to start the year right.
From notebooks to sanitizer, laptops to masks.
And all at amazing prices. This week, select one subject notebooks and Staples 2-pocket paper folders are just 10 cents each.
Select notebooks and folders for a dime. That really is amazing.
Plus, you can shop in-store or pick up curbside. School on, save on at Staples.
Ends 8/22. In-store only. Limit 6. While supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
One of the biggest challenges we're all dealing with is wearing masks, but not all offer the same comfort and protection. I recommend the Boomer Naturals 3-layer comfortable, breathable mask enhanced with nano silver technology.
Did you guys,
nano silver can block
my
those
phone
tiny
died,
drops
so I
and
missed
particles
Jake's
from
show.
getting to your nose and mouth.
But did
They
you guys
also
play
offer
that
those
Terry
Popster
Stotts
nano
thing?
silver neck gaiters, available in sizes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want that?
Yeah. Do you mind?
No. Hey, he doesn't lay claim to any sound that's ever.
Well, did he pull it?
Created. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, he didn't pull it. Well,
it was already in the
kind
system.
of. No, he pulled it and sent it to me, but
there's one other cut. Actually, we can wait.
Dealing with the root of the issues. It's the second level on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander.
Funking it up a little bit today, Ron. Just is it a Funk Friday? Maybe we should do that. You guys have Throwback Thursday.
that's not me.
That's not Matt.
That's Matt. Matt went ahead and just threw this in there. I don't even know if he really knows what the song is.
It doesn't even matter. Even if he got lucky, even if Matt closed his eyes and just randomly hit a button for the rejoin, and this is what popped. I
think that's what he did. I think he just spun a wheel and it landed on this one. He was like, yeah, you know what? Brick house, sure.
Look, we're creating new things every day. Yesterday, we created a euphemism for something else called folding your laundry. Today, I think we've created the new funk. Could we do other enough funk tracks? It's probably just going to turn into P-Funk.
It's going to just be, it'll be 2 hours of George Clinton.
Which is okay for me.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. I mean, you could even play you could even go and do some Clinton features. Like you could play Ice Cube's Bop Gun, and that would count as funk for me because Clinton's all over it. Unbelievable. I love it. See, Matt's doing great work here for us. Letting me know that you got yanked out by the boss, and next thing I know, I'm thinking, that's I've been there before, mind you, where a producer I've been that producer 2 times in my radio career. Once where I've been on the host end of it, the other where I've been on the producer end of it, where in the middle of a show on a Friday, I was either removed as the producer and brought into the programmer's office or saw my producer go into the programmer's office and basically be like, hey, just talk and fill the segment. I'll be back and let you know. And the time in which I was the host, turns out that I wasn't fired. It was just moved. And it was a conversation as soon as the show was over. Hey, the program director wants to see you. And that's when your heart drops because you're like, okay, they never fire you before. They always fire you after. And then what happened was it was just the moving of the show. Now, technically, it wasn't my show in the first place. I was there filling in and then kind of just took over through osmosis. But from there, I was basically put back to another time slot. As a producer, this was in Nashville when I was working down there on a news talker. And I was like 2 months into the show. I hadn't even got my footing in Nashville. And I'm sitting there. Next thing I know, I have this program director, really cool dude, thick Southern accent. Leslie was his name. And he came and said, hey, Eitan. And I'm not even going to try and do his accent because it was just this awesome, like here I am from the Northeast and everybody sounds like muddy and just, hey, yo, cuz and all this, right? Hey, guy. Now I'm down there and he had like this awesome drawl and it was just so cool. I'm sitting there in these program meetings. Everybody wanted to get out. I'm just listening to him talk. And he comes in and he says, I need to talk to you. I'm like, what did I'm here. I'm not even here 2 full months and I'm in trouble. Typical. He comes in and he says, we're going to fire this guy at the end, just so you know. No, you're still okay. We're going to keep you. And those were my 2 experiences. So I figured this man told me, something is not right. We'll have to wait and see until 1 o'clock Eastern. Nashville was so much fun. So I'm so jealous of Tony D. It's the one place that I've ever lived that I regret moving. Now, I had to move for work, and I would not be back here in Philadelphia, and I would not have met my beautiful wife and so many other things that came with life after moving. And it's just part of working in this business is if you don't have a lot of things anchoring you down, the ability to pick up and go can actually help you. And I remember when I moved to Nashville, first moved to Nashville, I was looking for apartments really fast, really quick, and I needed to find a spot. And I wanted to be close to the station, so in the event that I had to go in, and for whatever reason, I mean, that's all I knew anyway, was where I would eventually live and where I was working. So I wanted to be close just because I was a morning show producer, and you never know, you want to get there early and be there. So I was looking around for apartments, and one day I walk into this apartment building that was kind of on the south side of downtown Nashville. And it was really cheap, but it was decent. I mean, it was nice. It was just cheap. It wasn't luxury or anything like that, but it had a working elevator and had a doorman, and that was fine by me. And I'm thinking, all right, the building is decent. The apartment actually has some pretty good size to it. And I kept asking the guy, why is it so cheap compared to some other places that are only up the street or maybe, 4 or 5 blocks in the opposite direction? And he was really fast and quick with me because he knew also that I was in a rush because I had to get back to the station in the afternoon. So he was kind of rushed me in and out, and he was really quick. Oh, look, we're trying to, keep competitive and everything along those lines. So I must have been there total looking at the apartment and then getting the paperwork to sign and bring back for, I don't know, like 20, 25 minutes. It was really quick. I was in and out. I'd already looked at a couple of other places. They were outside my budget. Turns out that the time that I got there, like the very second that I got there to the very second that I walked back into my car was the exact time that it took from one train to go and then the other train to then go. And it was like constant train after train. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's why. So this was my first experience working morning radios. I never worked morning radio before, never knew that you had to be up at 3:30 in the morning to get there. And look, I'm not looking for any small violin like Ron and Tony aren't either. It's what we do and it's part of the job. But imagine now being in a brand new city, not knowing anything at all, and you're stuck in this apartment building where you just signed a 12-month lease, and the train comes every 35, 40 minutes. And that train is probably like wherever your backyard is right now that you could look at it. That sucker was loud, and it shook. Needless to say, I was glad enough to pay the out right there. And I think I lasted there like 3 weeks. I think I was in that building for like 3 weeks. And then I just boned up. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm a single guy in Nashville. I might as well just make it worth it. It's fine by me. At Shander Show on Twitch, twitch.tv/Shander Show. Now, I know Jake played this just because of Ron and you guys playing it earlier. But I thought it was pretty funny when I saw it populate around social media last night. Terry Stotts, the Blazers head coach, clearly not happy, and rightfully so, with the results last night from the Blazers-Lakers game, where LA came out, Anthony Davis really came out and dominated. CJ had a rough night, 13 points. Dame, talk about an off night for Dame. Now we know the finger and the hand can be an issue, but not a great night for Damian Lillard. In fact, if you really make the argument about when Anthony Davis came out, the guy probably would have had 50. If this were a close game, Anthony Davis would have had at least 40, if not 50 points. And I think that was just painfully obvious to Portland. But before we even hear this Terry Stotts thing, LeBron had, I think, one, if not his least productive scoring playoff game, maybe ever or like in a long time. He only had 10 points. He still was an impact. I mean, defensively, he'll always be impactful on the floor. And even if he drops 10 points, now granted, he played a lot of minutes with Anthony Davis, so anybody playing minutes with Anthony Davis is going to have a plus. The starters, this was a starter game. This was 5 guys on LA just being flat out better than 5 guys in Portland. It didn't matter. It did not matter who came off the bench. It did not matter who was doing anything other than the starting 5. And to be fair, because Danny Green is never going to make a shot again, which is okay. They don't really need him to at the moment. But it was really one guy. I mean, Anthony Davis pretty much single-handedly beat up on that front court in Portland, and there was just no answer. Zach Collins continues to miss time, so it's really just Whiteside off the bench and Nurkic to start. But that's a pretty big statement from LeBron James, who I don't even think meant to make that statement. Clearly, he did not go into the game thinking, all right, guys, I'm going to go 0 for 3 from 3. I'm going to miss 7 shots on the floor, only get to the line twice. But don't worry, I'll turn the ball over 6 times. Don't worry. I'll only score 10 points, but don't worry. We got this. I mean, if you got that line this morning without knowing what that score was, there is no way you would come to the conclusion that it was a 111-88 blowout. Even if I told you that only 3 other starters scored in double figures. LeBron James didn't need to do anything. Think about it. The Bucks needed Chris Middleton to come back. The Bucks needed. Now, they blew out Orlando, and it was laughable because Vucevic was the only guy that really did much. But they needed a couple of guys to really come back and score, and they didn't get it because Giannis and Lopez were there, and they were able to extend their lead so much that there wasn't much pressure on Chris Middleton or Eric Bledsoe for that matter. Because once you're up by so much, you could just have Dante DiVincenzo and Pat Connaughton come in there and take over. And Orlando had no answer for that. So there was no real pressure put on any other teammates because this is the difference. Again, it's not by design. It's not on purpose. It's not like LeBron was playing mind games with his team. Maybe he was, to be honest with you, maybe he was. And I don't say this as a negative. I say this as LeBron has been in this game and played at such a high level to the point in which he does have the ability. He does actually have the leeway. If this was a message that was sent to his teammates, that's not the typical, hey, guys, you guys need to step up. You guys need to play better. You guys need to do this. You need to do all this. Standing up in the middle of the locker room, chastising people for not playing better. The easiest way around that is to take the pressure off of you and put it on other people by not saying but doing. And Giannis let guys off the hook. Chris Middleton was just taken off the hook yesterday. He didn't need to do anything. He continued to actually struggle from the floor. Brook Lopez is going to get shots because they were going back and forth. They were trying to have this battle of the big men there and doing their best to kind of keep Vooch working and active on the defensive side, which I understand. But it's almost as if you're going to win a game after losing game 1, the way in which both number 1 seeds did, the best way to come back, the best way to actually win would be to do it in the way the Lakers did, would be to do it in the way in which LeBron James kind of has his hands up and says, hey, guys, it's not my night. Sorry. Yeah, it's still round 1. Don't worry. Let people talk. Let the media talk. Let people ask questions. It's not my night, man. I'm sorry. Somebody else is going to have to do something. And yeah, Anthony Davis, credit to him. He took the reins and ran with it. And other guys stepped up at times too. But I think it was more so to get Anthony Davis back into this field, back into this mode of, okay, I can dominate. I should dominate. Forget I believe in myself. I should be out there dominating competition because Anthony Davis might be maybe next to Hall of Fame Wade for like the first 2 years in which LeBron moved down to Miami. Outside of that, it's definitely better than what Kyrie was, and it's no knock on Kyrie. It's just a reality here. But Anthony Davis at his best could be the 1 or 1A best teammate that LeBron has ever sidled up with. That clearly, if you and I can recognize this, then clearly LeBron James has recognized this. But Anthony Davis doesn't have a championship like Wade did with Shaq ahead of time. And LeBron now, like he did before, LeBron can't rely on Anthony Davis yet like he was able to with Dwayne Wade in a bad game or even a tough stretch in a series. All right, look, I'm playing defense and I'm making an impact, but I don't have it today. Somebody else is going to step up. And then you look over and you see Dwayne Wade and you feel, whew. It's like that Denzel gif when you see somebody trending and you know now that they're not dead. Woo! And you just sit there like, thank goodness. At Shander Show, twitch.tv/Shander Show, 800-224-2004, all means to connect with the program. All right, when we come back, we'll let you hear this. We'll wrap the hour with Terry Stotts, who was not happy with the question. Stotts went pop last night. We'll explain as we wrap the hour on Sports Map Radio.
Pushing the odds with Matt Peralt. Do you want to bump back with that clip?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is a Pro Football Hall of Famer and a
Thanks.
guy who, me growing up in the Boston area, watching Andre Reed catching passes was a thing of beauty.
Patriots fan, you know what? Foxborough Stadium was the worst stadium in all of sports. It was so bad.
I can't argue with that. I mean, that's why they tore it down and put up the new one.
Old Foxborough Stadium, in the corners of the stadium when it was turf, it was rolled up like a carpet in the corners of the end zone. So if you ran a corner route into the end zone, good luck.
And the metal bleachers, I mean, that's where my first football game ever that I went to was a Patriot game in their 2-14 season, sitting in the cold bleachers, freezing my tail off. So yeah, that was not a fun place to go play. And I'm assuming going to the ground wasn't that fun either, landing on that turf.
Oh my gosh, it was
Let's see who's teeing off.
It was like playing on concrete, no doubt about it.
Pushing the odds with Matt Peralt. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 Eastern.
Introducing AutomotiveMap.com, a website for anyone interested in the automotive world. Whether you want to check out the latest auto news, read reviews on the newest vehicles, see some vintage rides, or get tips to keeping your family safe on the road, AutomotiveMap.com has something for you. If you love cars, trucks, SUVs, and the amazing technology hitting the showroom, then head over to AutomotiveMap.com. That's AutomotiveMap.com.
Wake up call! Man, he sounded great. I love that Australian accent. I was going to ask him how Vegemite tastes. I was
You
like,
should.
hey,
He wants to come on again. He enjoys it. Next time he comes
Exactly.
on, we got to come up with more Aussie questions.
I should ask him, you ever swam with a great white?
Do you have a kangaroo in your apartment?
Exactly. Do you drink Foster's Lager for breakfast?
Well, no. Let's not go that far.
Come on. Why
Well,
not?
maybe Foster's in your Cheerios.
Wasn't that an Australian for beer commercial? Remember that?
Yes.
Foster's Lager. It's Australian for beer.
But as we all know, Australians do not drink Foster's.
They don't?
No.
I didn't know that.
No.
You say that as if that's common knowledge.
That is
I
common
didn't know
knowledge.
that.
Everyone knows that.
Does everybody know that?
Foster's, I believe, is made by Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, stop. Why did you just say like Guinness is made in Montana? I didn't know that Foster's wasn't a staple of the Sydney, Melbourne crowd.
It's not.
Wake up call with Tony V and Ron Culver. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
This is the Sports Map Radio Network.
Let's face facts. It really is amazing.
Your home for Tony Bruno.
He has a take, but he sort of sucks at the same time. You know, you had a take or two, but for the most part, I got to run.
And Scott Farrell.
Bobby, can you get my divorce lawyer on the phone, please? Because I'm going to watch 6 hockey games a day, and I'm not even going to bathe.
The nation's fastest growing 24/7 radio network is the Sports Map Radio Network.
Beautiful.
Scratching beneath the surface. It's the second level on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
It's a Funk Friday. Sorry. Matt asked me. Go ahead, Matt.
Jared,
I'm
what
sorry.
was Dame doing on the floor with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, down by 30? He's playing basketball. Good question, Dwight.
How many times do you think that was said in the office? Good question, Dwight. That's the first thing I thought of. Was they let Dwight from the office in that press conference? Now, it's not a terrible question. And I do feel like Dwight deserves a little defense here. It's not a terrible... Pop gets asked some really good questions at times and doesn't have any time for it and plays into this whole personality, and everybody loves Pop, so he gets away with it. And, oh, did you hear what he said to Doris in this one-word answer during the whole halftime interview as he was heading to the locker room? But that wasn't, I think, even... And to be fair, Pop gets his share of dumb questions too. I don't hate question. I don't think that was a dumb question. I think that was somewhere in the middle. Here's the thing. I think it was answerable. I definitely think it was answerable. I think Terry Stotts was so frustrated with his team's performance and probably found out that Damian Lillard's hand is a little messed up. And at that point, probably didn't want to open himself up to any type of further criticism outside of, hey, you were the coach of the losing effort and your backcourt was atrocious. But it does a little. Now, here's the thing. If he's hurt, and I doubt that the team knew at the time, but if he's hurt and now in retro you look back at it and say, whoa, what was that guy doing out there down 30 in the third with a banged up finger and hand? If he had got that part out, then I do think that there was warranting an answer that wasn't just, shut up, Dwight. It felt very Office-like. Shut up, Dwight. Just shutting him down like that. I don't know. Does Stotts have that credibility? Does Stotts have? He's not Pop. I know that. Nobody is right now in the NBA, to be fair. But look, Brett Brown ain't getting away doing that here in Philadelphia. Is Brad Stevens getting away doing that stuff up in Boston? Probably not, right? You think Tom Thibodeau is going to get away with that in New York? Not many coaches, I think, can get away with something like that. I don't think Terry Stotts has that cachet, man. Second hour coming up. We'll talk some hockey, fake news. We are jammed on the second level. It's Sports Map Radio. I'm sorry, man.
That's on me. That's on me.
No, it's not. It's not on you at all. You asked me if you should play the cut coming back, and I said yes, great idea. And I talked all over it. It's totally my fault.
Monday Night Football was the best. How much did we?
You weren't potted up, if that makes you feel better.
Yes, much better.
I had to be in bed by 9.
But it's still my fault. I don't want you to feel anything other than that.
Early dinner for us.
I'm gonna go home early because football starts. I'll be eating it with my TV tray in the living room. Meanwhile, I'm a kid in New Hampshire. My mother's telling me to go to sleep. The Steelers are playing, and it's 9 o'clock, and I gotta go to bed.
Wake Up Call with Tony B and Ron Culver. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
Pushing the odds with Matt Perrault.
Bryson DeChambeau. His swing speed has gone up to 134 miles per hour, where last year it was around 120 miles per hour. So we're talking about a massive increase in swing speed. So much so that pro golfers were going in there and exploring the PGA Tour to not, quote, Bryson-proof the next courses. I'm not trying to accuse Bryson DeChambeau of being a cheater. I don't know. What I do know, though, is that the PGA Tour's got a problem. The problem is their drug testing. If you look at the 13 years since the PGA Tour started to look at PED testing and implement their system, there's only been 3 players who have publicly failed tests for PEDs. The PGA Tour doesn't have anywhere near the list of banned substances like cycling or the NFL when they're constantly updating, they're constantly watching and monitoring their athletes.
Touching the odds with Matt Perrault.
Weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 Eastern.
Coast to coast! If I want to watch a playoff, I'd rather watch take 2 of 3. That's legit to me. One day, anything bad could happen, and it's over. I don't really like having that many teams in the baseball postseason, but I do like, if I'm going to have it, which I am, I have no choice, because they're stuffing it down our throats, then I would rather see 2 of 3 than one game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast with Scott Pharrell. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern.
Into the night.
Our good friend Adam Schefter zooming with us, Harry. Adam, now what about the first couple of games of the regular season? I mean, with no preseason games, they're not even allowed to scrimmage with other teams. How ugly will the first couple of games of the regular season become?
I think the brand of football that you're used to seeing will be a notch below what we've seen in other years. I think it usually opens the season that way, but what are you going to do? We all love the sport so much that it's, believe me, it's okay. But I think this year it could be the product even more diminished than it's been in previous opening years. But again, what I would say to that is that's the time we're living in. And as long as we have the games, they can play whatever diminished product they want. I don't really care. Listen, I just hope we have football for the season. You know, we'll be happy to see diversion, a form of entertainment on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays. And by the way, if there's no college football, who knows? Maybe Fridays and Saturdays too.
Into the Night with Tony Bruno and Harry Mays. Weeknights at 10 Eastern.
Headed to Texas to watch your team play, but don't know where to go for that pregame drink? Visit CultureMap.com for all of the hottest spots in Houston, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio. From the most popular bars to those favorite dine-in gems, Culture Map has it all. Then before you leave town, why not visit some of the best places to shop or see some of the sights? Culture Map has extensive coverage on all the things to do in the city you're in. So check out CultureMap.com. That's CultureMap.com.
The Jake Asman Show.
If you made it through 30 seconds of that without just ripping your ears off your head, you deserve a gold star, a medal. At no point did I agree with anything he said. At no point did I understand anything he said. I like Russell Wilson, the player, but I'm sorry. The Seahawks should go 2-14 based off that video alone. And as a Jet fan, and the Jets own their picks, I hope they are terrible. I hope Mr. Unlimited has a terrible season and the Seahawks lose. And I like Russell Wilson, but I can't do it. That was horrendous. I mean, that is, what is he saying? And is that Sierra on the background being like, Russ, what are we doing? What was the purpose of that video? You made it through 30 seconds. God bless you and your family.
The Jake Asman Show, weekday mornings from 9 to 11 Eastern.
For real.
Coast to coast!
If there's 6 games a day of NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, hold on one second. Mavi, can you get my divorce lawyer on the phone, please? Thank you. We're gonna get a divorce because I'm gonna watch 6 hockey games a day and I'm not even gonna bathe.
Pharrell Coast to Coast with Scott Pharrell, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern.
One of the big changes we're all dealing with is wearing a mask, but not all offer the same comfort and protection. I recommend the Boomer Naturals 3-layer comfortable breathable mask enhanced with nano silver technology. Nano silver can block those tiny drops and particles from getting to your nose and mouth. They also offer nano silver neck gaiters, available in sizes for adults and children, and are in stock now and shipped to you fast. Order now at boomernaturals.com. Use the promo code Tony and save 20%. That's code Tony at boomernaturals.com.
How much money would you like to save just by doing something you're already doing? How about 40%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 40% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe. That's right, 40% just by driving safe. Visit Allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how much you can save when you drive safe with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Savings vary and based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is a Gow Media property in partnership with Jacob Media.
Set your system's volume control for slightly above the normal listening level.
Let's go. Second level thinking is defined as looking beyond the easy, obvious conclusions.
You got to do some smart thinking.
Welcome to the second level on the Sports Map Radio Network, a show where we go beyond the box score.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
I honestly completely 100% forgot that there was an NBA lottery last night. And then when I was reminded, I did absolutely nothing to find out what happened. That has to be the least. I am more concerned right now about why I can't watch members of the PGA who are out on tour right now participating in the Northern Trust than I am about who's going to win the draft lottery. I guess the Wolves won it and the Warriors came in too, but you talk about one of the most anticlimactic things that the NBA has had in a long time. It was the draft lottery. It wasn't even on timelines or anything. Normally you get inundated with stuff, right? Normally you see a bunch of things all over a trend or what have you. And maybe it trended, but it was probably the same amount of time that it took for trains to go by that place that I looked at in Nashville because I blinked and missed it. And I have zero interest in anybody who didn't make the bubble. Sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but outside of your own city and maybe even in your own market, nobody gives a damn about your team that didn't make the bubble. Sorry. Especially a team that finished 8th or 9th in the draft lottery. Who in their right mind sat and watched that? Do you not have anything else going on? Do you not have anything at all to watch? I mean, forget sports. Think about what else was on television that you sought out online, I'm sure, because I doubt that thing was even on TV, that you sought out somewhere to look at it, somewhere at all to find that and sit there and think, all right, this is it. This is what I waited for on a Thursday evening, was to sit down in front of my television. I've got my meal of the day. I've got my favorite drink. And I am going to consume over the next 30 minutes the NBA draft lottery. Sorry, missed it, slept through it. Nothing more, though, than that. Jeez, let me get this frog out. We'll come back. Fake news at 12:25. Damian Lillard leaving the third. It's got a lot of people upset. We'll talk some hockey at 12:40 Eastern time with a familiar face who's joined us before. Get into some puck.
Everyone gets a family welcome at the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Save up to 50% across the store. Shop for
Corona.
Here's
No,
home
I
and
don't know
more
why I-
because there's something for
Hey, when you come back, can you do a Boomers here?
Yeah.
Thank you.
extra 30% off in-store or online at jcp.com. On the go, pick up your order curbside. We're sharing the love. So come in this Thursday to Sunday. JCPenney. Offer valid 8/20 to 8/23. Conditions and exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
O'Reilly. Superstart batteries exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts are designed to meet the electrical demands of today's vehicles. Get dependable power and performance from a Superstart battery for your car, truck, motorcycle, lawnmower, boat, and more. Our professional parts people can help you find just what you need. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference, like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help.
I don't know.
Offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. Take an extra 20% off. Save on Vans shoes for the family, $59.99 and under.
So,
Women's Sonoma
this
tees
is
are
wild
just
about the
$6.39. And get up to 50% off Croft & Barrel bed sheets. Plus, save on your back-to-school purchase. Plus, fast and free store pickup. And get a little more for your wallet with Kohl's Cash. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com.
Select styles. Offers valid August 20th through August 23rd. 20% off with promo code Family Shop. 10 off 50 with promo code BTS10. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
You're going on a trip, but where are you going to stay? How much will it cost? Well, it'll cost less by booking on besthotelrates.com. Besthotelrates.com works with all the top hotels in the country while delivering you great hotel and room choices for the best prices. Why wait? Go to besthotelrates.com, enter your email address, and start shopping for your next hotel room. Besthotelrates.com, it's in the name. Besthotelrates.com.
From muscle pain, body aches to strains, Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis. It works fast, and you won't stink. Its unique formula with emu oil penetrates deep to relieve arthritis pain, sore muscles, joints, and more. Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis. It works fast, and you won't stink. Find Blue Emu at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, and other chains, or visit blue-emu.com.
You're listening to The Second Level on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, with way more than the scores, here's Eitan Shander.
So one thing to look at, as I still am just baffled that the PGA has made an MLB-type decision here. Major League Baseball, by the way, went one day. They went one day having every single team play. Ever since the Miami Marlins derailed this season, after 3 games, they had an incident every single day. We brought this up, I think, last week or maybe 10 days ago. Well, I don't know. They run together, I know. And we appreciate your time and being here with us as these days do run together. But we brought that up, how I should have behind me on the screen here that sign that says, 0 days without incident. You'll see it at the warehouses, right, where there's that big sign that says 0. It's really like an underline where you can fill in the number. 196 days without incident. All right, everybody, great job today. 197 tomorrow. Foreman yells at everybody, go home, get some rest. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll shoot for 197. The plant out in Harrisburg, PA, they've got a record of 396 straight days. So let's just keep ramping it up. We can get there, team. We can hit that mark. MLB went 1 day. 1 day. And in that 1 day, the Pirates president tested positive for COVID. This has been a disaster because Major League Baseball has no real plan to fix teams missing games outside of just jamming into a doubleheader. 7-inning doubleheader. Product is hurt. Mets at Yankees, August 22nd, August 23rd, also postponed in order to allow for additional testing and contact tracing. This is absurd. And it's not just, look, nobody cares about the Mets. Let's just be honest, right? Nobody cares about the Mets. It's people that are in New York and really in small parts of New York City. Corona, Queens. I mean, look, my whole family is from Jamaica, Queens. So I can tell you this with authority that there are plenty of Yankee fans in Queens. It's not just because, well, the Mets play in Queens. Media bias actually does exist. I'm not a huge fan of that term because I think it's overblown a lot. But there are two teams, and it just so happens to be Asman's team, so it's no knock on Jay. I don't want anybody thinking like, oh, he's suddenly ripping these teams. They didn't do Tony, Jake, or Aton today. So maybe the Jets and the Mets are only liked by New Yorkers, and specifically patches of New York. Yeah, they'll bleed into Jersey every now and again. They'll bleed into Southern Connecticut every now and again. But people talking about these teams on the national stage are from that area. And again, I mean like reporters, and I mean like, the TV, like the TV producers that work for Fox and ESPN and whatever the Peacock perversion is now. 95% of them are from New York City. That's why not many people in that production element are outside of that area. Bristol, Connecticut. Where do you think they're pulling people from? It used to be a lot in Boston. But so many people are coming from New York City. So they bring their allegiances and then they bring their biases there. Yankees, you can't argue with it. Yankees are a national team. It's the one thing baseball has going for it, which is no matter where you are, you'll find a Yankee fan. Can't argue that. Yeah, it's fair weather, but still, they've got a ton of popularity. Giants in the NFL, same thing. They had years of success. They had players that related to people outside of that area, from LT to beyond. I mean, even Eli Manning, not being from that area, connecting with that area, winning 2 Super Bowls, and having a huge fandom in the South follow along. Giants have always been a little lesser, of course, than the Yankees. The Yankees missing games is a problem. That's the issue. I don't care about the Mets. I'm saying as far as the Yankees are concerned, this is why baseball is basically just flying blind. Because at any given moment, the true popular teams, the teams that truly garner the information and attention from everybody, you might miss a series. And at that point, ratings going to dip. At that point, you'll see it. I mean, we're past the whole attendance thing. They're dealing with that on their own. But to not have your most popular team playing as a result of COVID is a souring taste. It's one thing if a rainout happens. We're used to a rainout. Mets, Yankees, sorry, Subway Series got rained out. They'll push it on later on the schedule or make up for it on a day-night doubleheader. But when you have a series that has been derailed now because of COVID, it looks worse. And then you can't rely on, well, it was Baltimore and Miami, so who the heck cares? You've got a big fan base now all over this country that could have tuned in, but they won't. And you'll try and jam these games in, and you'll force these guys, because it's only a 60-game schedule at max anyway. You'll try and jam these games in, these twin doubleheaders, 7-inning games, and it's not going to look as pretty as you think. It really won't. it's not going to look as great as you thought. In fact, it's probably going to look awful. Now, I have the tee times here in front of me at Shander Show, twitch.tv/Shander Show, 800-224-2004. It is the second level on Sports Map Radio. We'll get to fake news in 7 minutes. Also, we'll chat a little puck coming up at the bottom of this hour, 12:40 Eastern time. But what I will say is, as Dennis Bernstein will be back at Dennis TFP, it doesn't look like the PGA made a very smart decision today. And I don't know, maybe I imagine it's them and their network partner, right? But the Golf Channel will not air this second round, which is in progress. In fact, I have it here. The last tee time today is 1:39 p.m. Eastern. And if you think, well, Tiger and all these guys are going to take, Tiger's teeing off at 1:17 p.m. Eastern. You're not going to be able to watch coverage until 3 o'clock Eastern time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, an hour and 20 minutes past the last tee time. You're going to miss a lot of. Bryson is through 13 right now. Bryson, a guy that took the entire PGA Tour by storm and was constantly discussed and being talked about beyond just golf heads. This is a total lack of self-awareness right now by the PGA and the broadcast partner to delay this. And I don't care if it's on some pay-per-view app that you have to pay $5 for. It's a disgrace that it's not on regular television. You think the NBA is doing that? You think the NHL is doing that? You think the MLS is doing that? You think you have to watch the first half of the Raptors-Nets game on ESPN3 before it turns into a general event that everybody can watch? They're trying to squeeze money out, and it looks like a sport that is begging. It does. It looks like a sport that is out of money and begging, and we know that's not the case. This is a total departure from all of the momentum that they had. And now, even with Tiger Woods back and actually playing okay, they still have neglected. They had a star in the making with Bryson. Phil Mickelson finished. Phil Mickelson, look, I don't care that he's even overall. He was 3 under for the day. That would have been pretty cool to watch. I guess Phil Mickelson is no longer a draw. I guess Bryson DeChambeau is no longer a draw. If you can't sell Jon Rahm, who's already won, amidst a little controversy, but still has already won, you can't sell Bryson. You can't sell these guys. So what? So you just wait? And then you're catching nearly half of Tiger's round at that point. This is what you would do if Tiger were teeing off at 3 o'clock or 2:50 or something like that. This is the old golf mentality. They clearly have not evolved. And it's a shame because they were right there. They were right there on the cusp of actually making something happen and being at the forefront. And instead, you're stuck watching reruns of Worst Take and the women's tournament. And I'm not going full Mike Milbury on you. This is fine. You can watch as much LPGA as possible. I watch a lot of it because it's the closest I can look at what they're doing to try to mirror and match that. But come on. What are you thinking? Having guys out there, popular names. Forget Tiger. Forget if Tiger were even playing today, but we know he is. So you do have to add that factor in. Total ball drop by Golf and the Golf Channel to have us wait. Dustin Johnson, 4 under. 12:44 Eastern time. You're going to have to wait until 3 o'clock. And then even then, it's one coverage. It's one channel. It's it. So even still, you're going to be sandwiched in. If you're anybody not named Tiger, you're going to be sandwiched into the tournament. And earlier today, this is what Bryson did on 13. How about we just get a chance to watch it? How can you simultaneously sell us as the PGA and the broadcast partner alongside it, sell us that there is something new and exciting and marketable about the tour that doesn't need Tiger Woods, and then start at 3 o'clock Eastern on a Friday? Well, you know, Shander, people are working, and it's really hard right now to get out of work and watch golf at 1 o'clock or 11:30 in the morning. So it's easier for the Golf Channel to just run infomercials and then the LPGA until people are out of work. The NBA is running games at 1:30. the NHL was running playoff games at noon Eastern time. We were on for our second hour with hockey. These are two sports that are blowing the golf game out of the water right now. Even a little dip in the NBA ratings, and it's still right there because they recognize there are a lot of people are home right now, working from home or simply home right now. It's also a Friday afternoon in the middle of the summer. So even if there wasn't COVID right now, you would still be making an excuse to not do work at 1 o'clock Eastern. Awful decision by golf. And they're just trying to squeeze an extra $5 out of you. Well, if they really want to watch, they'll jump on that NBC, I don't know, it's probably some Peacock thing plus or whatever the heck it is. Golf Channel Plus or something. Yeah, if they really want to watch Tiger, they'll pony up. Really? That's how you treat people who have been loyal to your sport this season when for a while it felt like you were the best thing in town. It really did. Before the NBA truly was back and the NHL even dropped the puck, we had this and baseball was a disaster. So it is frustrating to watch this play out. It really is when we have been on this and talking about this sport and giving you live updates and having the ability to merge it into our program on Thursday and Friday as we see things play out and the arrival of Bryson and big body Bryson and what Colin Morikawa was able to do. All of these different things that did not require. It's always a plus, and it's always great, and it's a humongous benefit to have Tiger Woods in a tournament, especially from this angle, marketing and selling and being on television. I totally recognize the difference of a Tiger Tour or a Tiger-less tour. But golf, it felt like, was going in this direction of Tiger's a bonus. Anytime we have Tiger, that's just a bonus. That's like extra toppings. You have the best ice cream out there without any toppings. Now, I don't know if you would consider cookies and cream ice cream without toppings or if the cookies are considered toppings even though they're mixed in. Right now we're splitting hairs here. But it's essentially like whatever the ice cream is that already has the mix-ins in there. And it's an amazing flavor of ice cream. It's the best flavor and the best quality of ice cream. That's how they were selling it. So that if you got Tiger in a tournament, it was like, okay, just add whatever toppings you want. It's on the house. So sure, I would much rather see Tiger play well and follow along with Tiger. But even then, we're not going to get nearly half of that. Absurd. Major ball drop. Now, I don't mind watching the wrist action and footwork of the LPGA, but not when we have a FedEx tournament event going on as well. Fake news next with Rod Culver. It's the second level on Sports Map Radio.
Wake up call! Let's face it, Tatis is the youth movement in baseball.
He is, and that's a great point because this is where baseball needs to figure out where it wants to go, right? There's always something to complain about, some unwritten rule that gets broken by a new generation of kids who come into the sport, and all of a sudden we have this debate about whether or not this is appropriate or not. But you're losing a whole generation of people who don't get it, who don't understand it, and don't really like it. When you tell a kid he can't hit a grand slam because the pitcher is grooving one down the middle because he couldn't throw it over the plate and he finally needs to, and the unwritten rule is you don't swing on that, the young generation is saying, why not? And then there's no other good explanation for it. So what are you supposed to do? Purposely ground into a double play? So LeBron James comes down and misses 4 shots in a row. I'm supposed to just let him shoot uncontested for the 5th one? Like, the young generation looks at that and goes, that's insane.
Wake Up Call with Tony B and Ron Culver. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
Into the night.
Now, what's the time difference in New Zealand and Australia down under? I have no idea.
18 hours or something crazy like that. Let's see.
We can bet on something before it happens. We'll know that that's typically what you do, is betting on something before it happens.
That's usually how it works.
About the other way. If you can figure out how to bet on something that's already happened, like it didn't happen, you tell me how to do that.
Into the Night with Tony Bruno and Harry Mays. Weeknights at 10 Eastern.
The second level.
For the fake news, the third story, which is Jake Asman schooling you on a tweet I sent over the weekend.
This is the result of that said tweet. I got to talk to the guy after you.
see the,
who tweeted
after
out
virus
that a new name was going to be announced in 15 minutes.
Did
you see that?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah,
making the
It's
joke.
the
basically
180
being like,
of-
oh, we have a
of
bad
F
PR
racism.
story. Well, let's announce a new name. So
All right. Well, that
guys-
was a bad. It went
Did
over
you
my
even
head.
see that Kia
he
thing
fooled
yet?
you. Yeah, I'm on Aton's level there.
Yeah, I don't get it.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, what's it just? So you said that Kia commercial is racist?
No. They had a couple.
That guy standing up
I
for
think
me,
the one I sent
and he
you was
said
like
even I'm
after
on
they
his
got a
level.
lot of
Jake
hate from it.
Asman is on.
Okay. The only one I saw was just
where he's like, "That's crazy," right?
Crazy.
Yeah. So what happened was
Weekdays from
initially
11
it was
a.m.
just
to 1
like
p.m.
the
Eastern.
guy Jim saying stuff. And it was just
Wake
a
up
cut.
call.
It wasn't a conversation.
Every week they
it was
took
just a
brain
cut to that
truck
guy
and
being
dumped
like,
a boatload
"That's
of money."
crazy."
I keep
You
using
remember
that
the
term. I
scene in
better stop.
Caddyshack where the guy on the
And
phone
they
is about to get hit
boatload.
before he
I
jumps
always-
off the boat?
Yeah.
It was like one of those quick little things, and it was like the typical stereotypical like eyes
Okay.
bugged out and yelling on the air, and there wasn't any real conversation with him. It was just it was like 4 or 5. That's crazy. So people were like, "Dude, what's going on here?" And then they made that commercial where they gave him more of a
all right.
talking
that
part.
that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Fake news with Ron. With all the fake news out there,
Don't believe those lies.
it's on Shander to give it to you straight. 3 stories, but only one is fake.
It's true. I know it's a weird thought, but it's true.
Can Shander spot the fraud? Here's Ron Culver.
I'm betting today. Yesterday you got it right. So you knocked me off my game, and I think that kind of rattled me a little bit because I think today's going to be way too easy.
Well, you just want to get out of here.
I think that's it. Yeah, it's the weekend, right?
Well, Matt's doing basically your job today. Right?
Today. Well, I've been doing other things. I've been keeping myself busy.
I mean, we could do Tony, Jake, or Aton if you would rather do that. It's up to you, man. I don't care.
No, why waste a good fake news segment when you have it all prepped and ready to go? I'm just saying it's probably going to be easy.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay. All right, fake story number 1. This is Dateline, Sioux Falls, Iowa. You've been there?
I have not been to Sioux Falls, Iowa.
Well, if you go there now, you'll see a bunch of people. They're mourning the loss of an urban cornstalk after someone ripped it out of the ground.
Wait a second. What?
It was looked upon as a beacon of hope during
What's
the
an
pandemic.
urban cornstalk? A
No,
stalk of
cornstalk that was growing in the middle of the city, just out of the ground, out of the concrete. A cornstalk grew.
Okay.
They called it Cornelia.
Really?
And I'm not making these are all. I know these
Who
jokes
puts
sound
a name
corny.
behind that?
And I know these jokes sound corny, but this is all real.
That was terrible. I caught that.
Did that go too far?
Oh my goodness.
So you're saying the Colonel caught me, huh? No.
Yeah, I think you got caught on that one too. Are you going to push as many corn puns as possible?
I was trying to, but I think I've ran out. But no, there was a cornstalk that grew up out of the ground, out of the concrete. Somebody came by and ripped it out, and the city of Sioux Falls is now mourning the loss of Cornelia.
Wow. Do you know anybody named Cornelius or Cornelia?
No, the only time I've ever heard Cornelius, I mean, besides history books from the, reading about people from the 1800s was the movie Meet the Robinsons, Disney cartoon.
Okay. Okay.
And I know you haven't seen it.
No, I have not.
You will eventually
I have
someday,
not.
but you haven't seen it. You're gonna have a whole world open up to you when you have a kid.
Okay.
All right, story number 2.
I can't wait, by the way, for that because I don't even know what to expect. My world's already changed. Living with somebody now married to that person, I can't imagine what happens when we bring another person into this world.
Yeah,
Jeez.
just get as much golf in now as you can.
Trust me, brother. It's happening this morning and again today.
Story number 2. In an attempt to compete with Disney's Marvel Universe, Warner Brothers DC universe, which has really been struggling, they are going to attempt to do a few origin stories, kind of like how Marvel did with Captain America.
Jeez.
So they're not doing a Superman story. They'll be doing like a Flash story or a Wonder Woman story, but they're going to be infusing old footage of Christopher Reeve's Superman.
This is like having Michael Keaton reprise his role as Batman for this too, right?
Right.
And Ben Affleck as well?
Yes.
Here's the thing. I actually have a little bit of experience with comic books before, of course, they became movies. As a kid, I collected comic books. It was baseball card, like sports cards and comic books. And I got to be honest with you, everybody had like hundreds of episodes where maybe you would battle the same villain every fifth or sixth book, but there were so many stories. There were so many different storylines for Spider-Man and Superman and Batman and Aquaman. I know I'm crossing between Marvel and X-Men and DC.
Yeah, just Spider-Man was the only one. Everyone else was a DC.
No, X-Men was Marvel.
Well, you just said X-Men at the very end when I started talking.
Well, yeah, exactly, because you didn't let me finish my thought.
No, I never do.
No, but that's what I'm saying is, why do they have to go back and continue to rehash the same stuff or create these origin
I think
stories?
what it is that they're going back to grab footage to hopefully have appeal for people to go and see it, because for whatever reason, Disney has Marvel figured out. They've had a lot of success. Warner Brothers and DC have not figured it out yet.
No, because they're idiots.
They were great with Christian Bale as Batman.
Right.
But all the other ones have, Wonder Woman's not too bad. Gal Gadot's kind of fun as Wonder Woman. I'm not disappointed in that selection.
Right.
They got that one. Story number 3. Russia has perhaps watched too many spy films. One of Putin's staunchest critics has been poisoned into a coma.
I did see this story. It
just seems... Okay, so now you have a 50-50 chance, but let's talk about Putin real quick. He's got to be the one behind this, right?
Well, that's the immediate conclusion, is it not? I doubt that Putin has some fanatic out there like, I love Putin so much that I'm going to go poison his competition.
Well, it's not only that, but it's just, remember I think we talked about it early on too, where some of the guys who wanted to give out the real numbers of their coronavirus cases mysteriously fell out of windows. Did we talk about that? Or was that Tony and I?
Yes. No, we did.
I think we talked about that too, right?
Every time somebody either runs against Putin or is outspoken against Putin, that person either disappears or is poisoned. And
something happens.
Yes, something happens. There's a kidnapping and then a ransom is paid.
An accident. People just randomly, 3 doctors falling out of windows.
Right.
That happens.
Right. Yeah, like the same guy who tried to alert us all from Wuhan about COVID just mysteriously
disappeared. Yeah.
Yep.
No one knows.
No, nobody knows. Right. Look, I'm sure it's happening here as well, but not to that level. I don't know. Not yet.
Well, no, it does happen
until
here.
December.
No, it does happen here at that level. Epstein.
Well, no, I'm saying, though, as far as the level of, not the level of severity, but the consistency, I guess, would be
the consistency. Yeah. Right. I mean, right. maybe you're right. Maybe wait till December.
Yeah. You just watch poor Uncle Joe. All right. Is that all 3?
That's all 3. Well, now you have a 50-50 chance today. So it's a good Friday.
It is a good Friday.
You got this. Urban Cornstalk.
I'm good.
Or Christopher Reeve's Superman.
I'm going to say number 1 is fake, because they'll put anybody back in these Marvel or these comic book movies now.
God, you know what? I thought for sure you were going to get it today. As of right now, there is no plans for Christopher Reeve Superman to appear in the films.
Seriously?
But I guarantee you it's going to happen.
Well, if it does, can we go back to today and change it?
Yes.
And we'll void today.
Then all 3 of them will be true stories.
Exactly right. So Cornelius is fake, huh?
No, Cornelia is real.
Oh, that's right. I got it wrong.
Yeah. The Urban Cornstalk. 2 Falls really cried over a corn.
The Urban Cornstalk is unbelievable. Oh,
listen every weekday at 8:57 a.m. and 3:57 p.m. Eastern as sports.
The conclusion to that story, the Urban Cornstalk, a family grabbed it and decided to replant it to bring it back to life.
Well,
but people literally, have you ever driven down the side of the road? Yeah, you ever driven down the side of the road and you see makeshift signs and candles burning where somebody got hit or something like that?
Yeah.
Exclusive.
They were doing that for the cornstalk. People were leaving flowers and teddy bears for this cornstalk.
Too difficult?
I'm telling you, man, Sioux Falls, Iowa, there's not a whole lot going on there.
Complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a language today. That's BABBEL.com.
At CDW, we get that migrating your business to a hyper-converged infrastructure is challenging.
Like me switching to decaf.
That's nuts.
Do it till
I don't even know.
Whoa, slow down,
where
friend.
did you see that?
CDW's experts can help you simplify the transition from legacy.
If you want to see it, just type in Sioux City and it'll start populating corn stalk or Sioux Falls. I'm sorry, Sioux SIOUX Falls corn stalk, and it'll probably be the first news story that pops up.
School goes on.
And Staples has everything you need to start the year right.
From notebooks to sanitizer, laptops to masks.
And all at amazing prices. This week, select one subject notebooks and Staples 2-pocket paper folders are just 10 cents each.
Select notebooks and folders for a dime. That really is amazing.
Plus, you can shop in-store or pick up curbside. School on, save on at Staples.
Ends 8/22. In-store only. Limit 6. While supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
Auto Accident Help Desk is a marketing agency connecting callers with attorneys. Providers pay a fee for advertising services.
I love getting my kids ready and driving them to school.
But a careless driver...
You see the new viral video?
And insurance companies
After
want to
the virus?
settle on the cheap. Auto Accident Help Desk connects victims with powerful lawyers. They fight
My
for you.
favorite is the guy saying, you know, I would fuck with Trump, but he just talks too much
Don't
shit,
let an
man.
insurance company take advantage of you. Our attorneys fight and beat big insurance every day.
Call 800-528-6859. 800-528-6859.
If you've been injured in an automobile accident in the last 6 months, you owe it to yourself to make this free call with no obligation. We're available 24/7 to help you get the money you deserve for your pain and suffering. Auto Accident Help Desk help
Dennis is ready.
You every day.
Call 800.
And Dennis is fired up too.
I love it.
800-528-6859. That's
Just fired up in general, or-
800-528-6859.
He's fired up for my Fly Guys.
He's fired up. I told him, I said, you know, Eitan was so looking forward to this. We got to talk hockey. We got to get our guy back.
Good.
So he's ready.
Dealing with the root of the issues. It's the second level on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander.
All right, we have a gigantic game tonight here in Philadelphia that we're all watching, but two big games on the schedule tonight. Flyers and Montreal, and then later it's St. Louis and Vancouver. But this has just been an amazing start to the NHL playoffs, where two teams tonight can close out in game sixes. So it is our pleasure to welcome back to the program Dennis Bernstein at Dennis TFP, senior writer for all things the fourth period. That's what TFP stands for, at TFP. The Professional Hockey Writers Association, Sirius XM NHL, Kings of the Pod is the podcast, and of course the NHL Network everywhere when it comes to this game. Dennis, we thank you for your time. Hopefully all is well, first and foremost, with you and yours, sir.
Absolutely, Ton. Yeah, it couldn't be better. We're in the midst of Stanley Cup playoff hockey. And what a way to close the night last night. 7 consecutive goals by the Stars. First time in history a team's been down 3 and won by 4. It's been fantastic. Everybody's safe and happy, and couldn't be more ready for 2 big games tonight, 2 closeout games.
What was let's start, though, before we even touch on tonight. We did see 2 closeouts last night, and I guess we should start with the game you mentioned, the later game, where Dallas just erupts. And now all of a sudden it looks like they have a ton, despite who it may be, they have a ton of momentum heading into the next round, mainly just the way in which they close that game out, Dennis.
Yeah, absolutely. And a team that, what are they renowned for, Eitan? Their defense.
Yeah,
they've scored a lot of goals in this series. Joe Pavelski and Gurianov had 4 last night. But they're going to have to raise the level again. They're going to have to get back to the way they usually play, Eitan. And the fact that Ben Bishop is in the net, I think the next round is going to be a huge challenge for them. But look, they found a way. They jumped on it. And I think that the MVP for Dallas last night was, of all people, Milan Lucic for taking the 2 dumb penalties and letting them get back in the game. But a massive an unexpected way to win. If you told me Dallas was going to win the series 4-2, I'd say, okay, Game 6 they win 2-1, 3-2 off some really solid defense and goaltending. But this is a team that they're starting to feel it. I think they've been underrated all the way through because of the way they play. But remember, this team last season, they were one goal away from beating the eventual champions in Dallas. I mean, they lost by one goal in overtime. They had Game 6 at home, didn't do it. So this can be a dangerous team. I just look at Vegas and Colorado, and I'm thinking they're just not as good as this team. They're going to have to be just a lot more. They're just going to have to be better across the board to beat a team like that, because Calgary, you could see what they were without Matthew Tkachuk. You could see him freaking out if you watched the game last night. And one of the suites last night, watching this team, fall, give up those 7 consecutive goals. So it'll be a bigger challenge, but an exciting game, a historical game with respect to the level of comeback in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Absolutely. And it was awesome to see that by all means. Now, earlier, I'll just ask you a very simple question on the level of disappointment and shock from 0 to I'm numb, I didn't even feel anything, to 10, which is wow, with like all caps and 7 exclamation points. Where are you on that spectrum of the Caps losing in the first round?
Yeah. Look, it's one thing to lose, and it's one thing to put up a non-effort like they did last night, which is what they did.
Right.
That was a non-effort. And now one mitigating circumstance, Eitan, is that, when you go from Nick Backstrom, healthy Nick Backstrom, to Lars Eller on the second line, that's a huge step down. And that was one of the deciding factors in it. But I got to look at the coach now, right? I mean, last year they lost in Game 7 at home to Carolina. This effort against the Islanders, you saw that frosty handshake between, Barry Trotz and Reardon, Todd Reardon after the end of the game. I think you got to look at the coach here. I don't think that the team is responding in the postseason. They're still a very talented team. Braden Holtby's probably going to leave unless he wants to take a one-year deal. So I think there's a lot of problems here. And remember, they were 2-5-1 overall in the postseason. And again, maybe this is the argument for an older team that really wasn't engaged. But now I question the connection between coach and team at this point in time, given that was a do or die game for them, and they definitely died.
Yeah, that's a great point, and that's kind of where it was leading to, which is what happens now for Washington. But let's look at the Islanders. I mean, they get the win. They earned it. They deserve it now. Is this going to be a team that's dangerous, or did they simply take advantage of some issues on Washington?
Well, here's the thing, and since you're a Philly guy, we'll talk about Philly for a second. The way Philly's playing right now, Eitan, if it's Islanders-Philly next round, the Islanders playing in the conference final right now. So look, they're doing everything, Dan. Yeah, I just Philly's got a lot of questions to answer. But with respect to the Islanders, they give me everything they got. They are so united here. Remember, even off the ice, remember they had that ping pong tournament. They're having fun. They're not complaining about families not being or anything. They're having fun. They've really bonded, I think, of any team that's remaining. They've really bonded here. They're having fun. People didn't really expect them. They were under the radar. I mean, they got a kind of a bye playing Florida in the first round, but this is a convincing win. They're getting the goaltending from Varlamov. They're getting opportunities to goal scoring. They actually scored a power play goal last night, which is good to see. And a kid like Beauvillier standing up for them. So could they go on the next round and get to a conference final? Absolutely. At this point, they can, because this team listens. They love the coach. They listen to the system. It's not the most exciting. But here's the thing, Anton. This is the one team that benefits by having no fans in the stands. Because nobody's moaning and complaining about their style. Right? When they shut people down in the neutral zone, nobody's complaining about it. There's no grumbling in the stands. So they're benefiting from that as well. They're playing excellent hockey. They're smart. They don't beat themselves. And, we talk about all great defensive pairings in the league. But Adam Pelech and Ron Pulak don't get enough credit ever. These two guys are an exceptional top pair defensive pairing, and that's part of the reason why. But they're clicking on all cylinders. So could they go to a conference final? Absolutely. They are a dangerous team right now the way they're playing.
All right, so I am curious, Dennis, when you reference just the team that would benefit the most without having fans. We've seen it so far in the NBA where not having to travel and home court advantage being gone has actually evened up a lot of teams, especially with LA and Portland. Is there been anything jumping out noticeable about the change of not having home ice advantage that you've seen that's impacted this game, either positive or negative?
No, I can't see it. I think, again, like you said, it evens the playing surface. I don't think playing fields, I think they're playing ice. I don't think so. I think you're going to get the best team is going to win here because everything is kind of level. It's I don't think, and in hockey, anyway. Hey, remember, let's go back to last season. Game 7 in Boston, the Blues won.
Right.
So is it an overriding home ice advantage for any of these teams? I think once you get to the level, I don't think it is. I think it might help a bad team that's trying to come forward or stuff like that. I think maybe with respect to Montreal, had they split the first 2 games and gone back to Bell Center for games 3 and 4, could they have won both? Maybe with the fans going crazy there, possibly. But I think it's. Of all the complaining that's been done, there's been a ton of complaining about all the negative Nellies. I think this is the most fair way you could adjudicate a Stanley Cup playoff series. So I don't see any team getting one advantage over the other. I just think it's just a really even way to have these games played.
Dennis Bernstein at Dennis TFP, NHL Insider, joining us. 8 on Shander, Sports Map Radio. All right, before we get to the big game, and that's the one selfishly I want to spend some time on with you, let's fast forward to tonight, and we're in a similar situation, right, where the Canucks coming in and the higher-seeded Blues are on backs to the wall right now.
Yeah.
How do you see this game? Let's start there, Dennis. How do you see this game playing out tonight? And if, in fact, St. Louis is able to tie it, how do you see the series play out?
Well, I would go back to Bennington. That's what I would do. And Jake Allen, you saved the series a little bit, got a couple of wins for you. But I would go back to Bennington because now Bennington's been on the bench. He's had time to think about it. He's probably uber motivated. Like, that's the guy I would go to in an elimination game at this point. But I will say this. When you look at what St. Louis did last year, Tom, and you look at the teams they beat Dallas, they beat Winnipeg, they beat San Jose and Boston. They never played a team like Vancouver, who was young, had a lot of speed, really skilled team. The teams I mentioned were good, solid teams defensively. They were older teams and not really what that Vancouver offers. So this is a dangerous game for St. Louis. And when you look at the records in the bubble, Vancouver's 6-3, St. Louis is 2-5-1. Who's the better team? Vancouver's been. And here's the thing: when that game is 3-1 in Game 5. Right, you think the game's over because Ryan O'Reilly's playing great. He's been that monster he was in Game 4. Like, this is the team, they're going to lock it down. They're going to win 5-1. And Vancouver said, we have other ideas. This is a game that is a real toss-up. St. Louis is going to give their all. St. Louis, they're not going to be like Washington. They're not going to put up an effort like Washington will. Right? This is going to be Vancouver's going to still have to earn this series. This is not a team that's going to quit on Craig Berube. But this is a very difficult win for them because of Game 5. I just think that was a stunning comeback, Vancouver. You would think, okay, Vancouver's playing with house money. They're not really expected to win here. The champs are challenging them. It's going to be going to it. And they turned it right around because of guys like JT Miller, because of Pedersen, and of course because of the goalie. Jacob Markstrom had some incredible saves, turned the game around, kept them in the game. This is a danger. I can't even make a pick, to be honest with you, because I know what St. Louis is playing for, but Vancouver is playing really good, and they got to be confident coming off of Game 5. So I think it's going to come down to the goaltending. I think if Markstrom puts up another performance like he did in Game 5, they're going to win in 6, which is kind of astounding going in, because you would think that the Blues, they need a little bit of runway coming out of the round robin round, which really didn't benefit anybody. But again, if Markstrom's going to play did in Game 5, I think there's a path to victory for Vancouver to go on to the next round.
You mentioned goaltending. The last time Carter Hart got beat up by Montreal, all he did, Dennis, was shut them out 2 games in a row.
Right.
Now you come into Game 6, and to be fair, Hart was putrid, and the defense for the first time really this series, even in that 5-0 shelling, they played worse the other game than they did when they got beat 5-0.
Yeah.
I would love to think that when the Philadelphia Flyers are at their best, especially with their goaltender, that they are probably the toughest or one of the toughest teams to beat. But I just don't know what Flyers team I'm getting tonight against the Canadiens.
Well, you can talk about defense and goaltending all you want, but when your 5 top scorers this season, goal scorers, haven't scored a goal the entire postseason, that's the problem with this team. Whereas Couturier, I know people, I love him. I voted for Selke. Like, he's been a non-factor 5-on-5, right? All the connecting, I know he's been hurt, but if you get these 5, it's not a goal. I mean, really? I think what happened was these guys read that they were the it team and they were a hot team and they're under the radar, and you look at the other big boys in the East and they're supposed to win, and Flyers are an up-and-coming team, and they relaxed. I really think they relaxed, and I'm shocked at the level of play. I think because I'll be honest with you, I credit Montreal. They've been tough. They've been brutal. They've been physical. Carey Price, but they're still a 12 seed. And I know they beat Pittsburgh, but you shouldn't be able compare the Flyers to Pittsburgh at this point in time. The Flyers were better, had better depth, had been coached better, have a better goaltender, and to struggle like they have has been stunning to me. To be honest with you, I thought this would be a 5-game, maybe 6 for the Carey Price series.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to jump in. Is this the game in which we truly see the impact of Alain Vigneault?
I guess he's done that gamesmanship with respect to saying that if Gallagher was taller, then maybe I mean he wouldn't have got to hit on the base, and then
they got a bunch of 5-footers on that team, though. To be fair, come on.
They do. Yeah. But, to be honest with you, Montreal's done a great job adhering to what they do best. Is play good defense, clogging up the neutral zone. They've done it. They've got some opportunities to goaltending. I don't think it comes down to coaching, to be honest with you. I think it comes down to execution. The Flyers just have to execute better offensively. Like, this is just, to me, if I'm a fan there, it's not acceptable. It's like this team should be able to beat Montreal 4-1. Now, I'm interested to see what happens with Nick Suzuki and Carter Hart. Maybe if the Flyers win tonight in the handshake line, maybe Carter Hart pats Suzuki on the head when they go through the line.
That'd be pretty cool.
But this is a very intriguing series because it was a team that you thought that some were picking to go to a Cup final, and they've had such struggles offensively. I know the Canadiens have been a better team than they were in the regular season. This is really intriguing, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if it goes to 7.
Oh, my goodness. At that point, who do you take goaltender-wise? All things are equal, defense, offense. Who do you take, Price or Hart in Game 7?
Well, I got to take Price, but it's not just in a vacuum, though. It's the pound for pound. There's no question who the better roster is. It's just that maybe rallying around Claude Julien's absence, maybe it's that everybody's disrespected them from day one, saying they shouldn't be in the playoffs. I think it's a coin flip at that point in time. So I think that, I would pick Carey Price going in, but I think they're a facet to the Flyers game that if they execute the way they should still win the series. And I still like them to win the series, but this is not a trap game for Philly, but you don't want to go to a Game 7, right? If you're
need to wrap it up.
Leave it to a coin toss. And if Price stands on his head, they wind up winning the series, and you're home very disappointed.
Right.
I think this is the game that, again, this goes back to the efforts like Calgary and Washington. You need an all-in game from this should be the Flyers Game 7, Eitan, because like I said, you don't want to go to a Game 7 overall and try to beat Carey Price in a set.
Awesome, Dennis. Thank you so much. We run out of time so fast because it's so entertaining. Thank you so much, Dennis. At Dennis TFP. I'll let everybody know where they can find you. Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure, Eitan. Thanks for the time. Appreciate
you got it, my friend. We'll wrap the hour next.
Into the night.
Over the weekend, I wasn't on the internet much. I was just chilling by. Well, you were in a pool. I wasn't in the pool all the time, but I was playing with the chickens.
Hey, you still owe me a boomer.
Oh, shoot. Can I do it here?
Yeah, you can do it here.
Okay.
Yeah, we go.
I don't really have one for the road, so
no, that's fine.
Do a boomer instead.
So apparently, this guy
my son
who
has
was
14
poisoned.
chickens, and they walk around all day.
Doctors suddenly announced an hour.
Amazing.
Did you see
Chickens
this?
roam around.
An hour later, doctors announced suddenly
They
they
said,
found
like,
no
hey,
traces
yeah, they're like
of poison
Harry.
in his
Hey, it's
system
about
and
time. It's getting a little
refused to
dark
let
out
him be
there.
medevaced
Let's get the
to
hell out of
Germany.
here, man.
So he's still in a coma right now. It's amazing.
Yeah, all of a sudden, doctors go, "Oh, no poison," because they don't want to They don't want to accidentally fall out of a window.
Video of that where you're doing a shit.
That's why.
No,
Can you imagine? God, that government has so much control. It's amazing.
Whisperer. They're awesome.
Into the Night with Tony
Wait, what was
Bruno
that,
and
sir?
Harry Mays. Weeknights at 10.
I said Putin's government has so much control. It's amazing.
Yeah, it
Radio
is.
Network.
To just be able to go, no, it's not poison. No, you're right. It's not poison.
Right.
He just has a mild cold and is in a coma.
And both times I threw heat. Rock star status.
Now you can take SportsMap
Yeah, that's
Radio
insane.
anywhere with the new SportsMap Radio
That's
Network
definitely
app.
insane.
Just search SportsMap Radio in your app store today.
Myers Leonard, his prices are insane.
Check out.
Wake up call. Can I tell you a little funny blurb from my radio travels?
Of course.
When I was in Colorado Springs, it was one of those years where the West was just killing everybody, whereas the East, losing records, were getting like 6 seeds. So Benjamin Hockman, who works in St. Louis, is a good friend of mine, and he covered the Nuggets at the time. I said to him, this is like a Halley's Comet type of year for the Western Conference. We never see this very often. He goes to Denver, and he talks to George Karl, and he says, this is kind of like a Halley's Comet type of year. And I'm listening, I'm going, wait, that's my line. But here's where it gets even trickier. Carl agrees to it. And then Carl in a press conference like a day later says, this is kind of like a Haley's Comet year in the Western Conference where 50 games will get you in. No one is going to believe me that was my line. That's my line. That's not his. That's not Ben Hockman's line. That's my line they're using.
Wake up call with Tony V and Ron Culver. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
The Jake Asman Show.
What's an easier costume, the Gardner Minshew or me always being Jake from State Farm every year? I would say Jake from State Farm. All you need is khaki pants, a red polo shirt, print out the State Farm logo, print out a name tag that says Jake, and you're ready to go. It is the go-to costume of mine. And people always laugh. And unlike other people that do it, my name is actually Jake.
The Jake Asman Show. Weekday mornings from 9 to 11 Eastern.
Scratching beneath the surface. It's the second level on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
We recommend Boomer Naturals because the 3-layer comfortable and highly breathable mask is the best out. It comes in sizes for adults, teens, and children, and they're in stock now. They'll ship to you fast. And the best reason why these are highly protective, the Boomer Naturals mask has the nano silver technology woven into the fabric. Nano silver can block the tiny drops and particles from getting to the nose and mouth, and that's what we want right now, the best protection. You'll get it at boomernaturals.com. They also offer those popular nano silver neck gaiters. Order now, boomernaturals.com. Use promo code SPORTS and save 20%. That's code SPORTS at boomernaturals.com. Get free shipping and handling when you spend at least $50. It's all online at boomernaturals.com. They donate one face cover for every order to nonprofits and charities, helping tens of thousands of Americans in need. All right, Ron, have a great weekend. Matt, too. Thanks to Dennis Bernstein. Matt Peralta up next, back on a Monday. Enjoy it. It's the second level on Sports Map Radio. You have to wait 2 more hours for golf, by the way. Don't pay for it. All right, you got it all.
Perfect web. That was awesome.
What?
You're the man.
Oh, the Boomers?
No, I'm just saying you got that in a final joke.
And a shot.
Shot at golf.
Why not?
Pro
All right,
football.
man.
Enjoy the weekend.
You too, brother. I think we just have John.
John's
John's on Monday, so yeah. I mean,
yeah. If you need anything, just let me know.
And I love her. I mean, if there's football on
know,
Saturday and Sunday, pro football to bet on. I mean, it's junk food city and betting on football.
I don't know. I don't
want to
jam the show
Saturday
up, but
football. Screw college football.
I might look for somebody
Coast to Coast with Scott Farrell.
golf or
Weekdays from 4 p.m.
NBA.
to 6 p.m. Eastern.
Let me see if Keith Smith can come on. Do you know if Smith is on Monday by any chance?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, let me see if he can do it. Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, brother.
Have a good one.
You too.
Our
Thanks,
society.
Matt.